Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Middle Row, the podcast. This week, we are flashing back to 2000 to watch a Christopher Nolan movie that we can actually safely see. And that is his second film, Memento. I believe I picked this for the podcast as a flashback. I remember being a very ardent fan of this movie and the hype around it when it came out. One of my friend's dad raved about this movie, who had always had interesting opinions on movies. Yeah, this movie launched Nolan, though I don't think he made Batman next, right? Didn't he make Insomnia next?
Sure.
You're asking the wrong guy.
I believe that's the order. I'm racing you.
Yeah, Insomnia.
Yeah, Insomnia, which I enjoyed as well, but I don't know if I've seen it in almost 20 years either. But then his 1-2 punch of Memento and Insomnia got him Batman, and then he's been doing one for them, one for us for a while, obviously. Now he does whatever he wants, I guess. But yeah, everybody knows Nolan, one of our most prolific filmmakers nowadays, and accomplished and heralded in many light and dark circles of the internet. But yeah, this film, I mean, very much feels like a Nolan movie. It's where all of the... Well, I have not seen Following. Has anybody seen Following, his first film? No. But this film has all of his, dead wife tropes. Messing with time and structure.
Does the Batman trilogy count? Because, Martha Wayne is a wife and she's dead. So does she fit into that?
I mean,
That's
Rachel
more of a
dies.
Disney movie because it's a
No.
pair.
Why did you say that name?
Nolan's probably like, that'll do.
Yeah.
That'll do.
I mean, the
Check my box there.
second movie, Dark Knight definitely checks that box, right? I mean, Rachel
Dark
dying.
Knight Rises also checks that box.
Yeah.
We get that box checked all three movies. His dedication to dead wives is pretty impressive.
Lots of dead husbands in Dunkirk.
Okay. My hot take was The Dark Knight is the worst of the Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah, we've all heard your hot take.
I actually probably would agree with John on that.
What?
No, I still think Dark Knight Rises is my least favorite.
Oh my god.
It's Gotham
All three?
Rises for one thing.
All three, 4.5 stars for me, but it's Dark Knight Rises, Batman Begins.
Oh, Begins on top. That's interesting. I think I don't know many people who puts the first one.
I thought you would because you
Not
like
to say
Katie
that's
Holmes so
bad.
much.
Okay, hold on. Let's clarify. I think Katie Holmes does a way better job at playing her character than Maggie Gyllenhaal.
We've done a whole podcast about this. We're talking about Memento.
Yeah, I know, but it's worth saying.
You started this with the dead wives, Zach.
But in general, I also think Nolan just doesn't write women well. Because, Anne Hathaway was okay in The Dark Knight Rises, but she wasn't, great. Marie Cotillard, she was okay. I don't know. Or maybe those weren't just good vehicles for, because I liked Ellen Page in Inception. I thought Marion Cotillard was, pretty good in Inception as well.
Yeah, Cotillard had a problem in Rises just because, her character was, had that turn. It was really hard to flesh her out and then keep it a secret,
Watch this pivot. This is the most character-driven movie. No, but I think it's a salient point. He doesn't really write characters anymore.
This is true.
The Prestige is probably actually
garbage.
His most rich character. There's a lot. It is about the characters as much as it is the twists and turns. But
I haven't seen The Prestige.
Oh,
good. It's not worth your time, Ben.
Shut the fuck up, John. Leonard is definitely he doesn't feel like he came out of a Christopher Nolan movie. His characters have gotten very sterile, I think, and it's more about the machinations of the plot and how the structure of the film works for him. Now, I guess Interstellar, having just rewatched that, obviously that's about character too, I guess.
Lauren and Ben, what are your thoughts on Interstellar? Because I still haven't seen it either.
I haven't seen it.
I mostly just remember sobbing.
What is wrong with you? How have you not just seen every Christopher Nolan movie?
It was spoiled.
I was just
There's
looking
no
at that
spoiler
actually.
for that fucking movie.
Yeah, there is.
For Interstellar? Excuse me.
There's not a
My
spoiler.
anger would tell
is.
you otherwise.
Are we talking about
I haven't-
a certain...
so I
Don't
haven't
say it.
Please tell me, like, we gotta cut that out for our next, like,
I didn't say
intro
anything.
bit. Just get John
Oh,
going,
just
woo,
that
blah,
clip.
blah, blah.
Okay. Put it in
I
this
just
new
go full
spoiler
Muppet
tag.
mode.
But yes, John, you should watch Interstellar.
And Ben, you should
Okay,
watch
I haven't-
Interstellar and Prestige.
I also haven't seen Insomnia. I really want to see that though because I think Robin Williams. I love Robin Williams.
Oh, what? That's the Insomnia you're talking about? Wait, Insomnia? So the Insomnia you're talking about, that's the one with Robin Williams and Al Pacino?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Hilary Swank.
That's a Christopher Nolan movie?
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's a
Yeah, that's great.
it's a remake of a foreign movie as well. But
Blowing my mind here, guys. That's not a very Nolan movie at all.
Yeah,
But
I
I
was
mean,
shocked
that
to find
movie
out
deals-
that he was involved with Man of Steel.
time and stuff like that, like he can't sleep
Yeah.
and
Oh,
he's,
does-
I mean, it's
Yeah,
got.
but I mean, it's just-
you can see how he
I mean,
found a way into it.
It's got, yeah, now that I'm like thinking about it, it has like those Nolan-esque bits to it,
Mhm.
but it's definitely like, if I was ranking the Nolan movies I've seen
Yeah.
by like Nolan-ness, it would probably be at the bottom.
Yeah, no, I could.
Which is
yeah,
now,
sure.
that's a
If
rating
it-
you have to have. How many? Like,
If it's based
how-
on a Norwegian, sorry, go ahead.
Yes,
Sorry.
it's based
What's
off
the
of a movie
Nolan-ness
with Stellan
rating?
Skarsgård in it. Just to get everybody's quick thoughts on the movie, I used to give this movie 5 stars, and I think I went back to a 4-star, and I think that's partially
Oh, I didn't.
because I'm not sure the movie makes any damn sense. And
Yeah, there's things.
but the script and the structure are so well done, and like from a filmmaking perspective, like the Carrie-Anne Moss scene where she is one of the best scenes in a movie ever, I think. The middle one where she
Oh, you mean the one that I hate?
oh, you don't like where she just rips him a new one and steals all
Yeah.
his pens? Oh.
It's suddenly just fuck.
Yeah, but it's so good. It's so good.
No, she is
But-
good in it. I was just like, God, they did not write this scene. Like every other word is just cursing him out.
Also, I've grown to like knowing what Nolan's capable of as a filmmaker now. This movie just feels so small, and like him not getting to flex like any of his muscles outside the structure and storytelling side of
it
things.
doesn't even have a single bwang.
But I still think this movie's really good. I probably am actually. I gave it 4, but I'm probably 4.5 still on it. I still really enjoy it.
I would kill for a Memento Hans Zimmer cut. A strategic at every crucial cut.
There's a couple loud gunshots at the beginning and the end of the movie. Or beginning of the movie. That's the end. What did everybody else think of Memento? John?
I can. Okay.
Oh, me? Okay. I remember this being a college film. In that being like I didn't.
This and Boondock Saints.
No, Boondock Saints was high school for me.
It's one step down.
I think when I finally started to actually go out and try to watch more movies that I heard were really acclaimed or whatever, kind of cult classics or that kind of thing. That was around college years when I had access to P2P file sharing services.
Oh my gosh.
And so I remember just this being one of the films where I'm pretty sure I watched it sitting in my computer desk chair, just legs reclined or up, and I don't know. Yeah, it was. So there's those feelings of kind of
Nostalgia.
seeing a film with fresh eyes and going into a film really innocent and with no bias or perspective, and really being able to form your own critique or perspective on it. And for that first viewing, I really liked it. I thought it was. Sorry, I'm now thinking of. I'm now wondering if I actually saw this in high school.
I mean, it came out
I
in
don't know.
2000. I would say it was probably
You
part
probably
of your
did it
high
back
school
to back
canon.
with Boondock Saints.
I mean, I might have, considering the people I rolled with. Either way, so I don't know when I saw this, but I remember having such strong feelings of this is such a cool film, such a unique film that I've never seen done before. And just being mesmerized and so appreciative of all those things that you mentioned, Zach, in terms of the nonlinear narrative, but then how the cinematography blended with that or utilized that really well. And I think one of the things I was interested about seeing on this, it's been it's one of those films where you see it once and I don't think you can really see it again, or it's not like a feel-good film where you're just like, I'm going to sit down and watch Memento.
I watched this movie enough times during the 2010s. I mean, I know every beat of this movie. Yeah. I even watched the DVD special edition that played it in chronological order.
So I was wondering if there was actually a cut of that, and I'd be interested to watch that.
Oh, yeah, full admittance, after I finished this movie, I Googled the plot chronologically to make sure I understood what happens.
For this being my second viewing, I was interested to see how my more adult and more seasoned, quote-unquote seasoned eyes would view it. And it pretty much held up. Like, all of these innovative techniques that Nolan employs still work. And yeah, it comes down a little bit because you expect things and there are moments that are ruined because you kind of know they're coming. But regardless, just even all the hard cutaways, like, Lauren, I remember you were complaining about that in a specific film that we reviewed recently, and how it just seemed like it was
how it felt disjointed. That was Wasp Network.
Yeah, maybe that was it. Yeah, and you could almost make that argument here, but it's done so much more intentionally and so much more consistently that it works so well. And so, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't hit me as emotionally because it's not as much as of an emotional film to me as it is. I mean, there's a lot of pathos for these characters, but it's still kind of brought down by the weight of, this is like an intellectual film. This is kind of a thinker of a film. And so you can get wrapped up in the performances by Carrie-Anne Moss and Joe Pantoliano and Guy Ritchie, who's incredible.
Guy Pearce,
sorry, thank you. And also
Guy
reminds
Ritchie's
me,
also pretty great.
I honestly, I'm not sure how much of Guy Ritchie's stuff. I know he's more of a director, but I don't know how much of his stuff I've seen.
I feel like Guy Pearce had that conversation on podcast episodes also numerous times.
About Guy Ritchie specifically?
Done 2 of his movies in the past year.
Which ones? Oh, I didn't see Aladdin.
No,
and,
we didn't do that.
The Gentleman.
Yeah,
Snatch and The Gentleman.
Oh, Snatch. Oh, okay, yeah. I keep forgetting.
Yeah, and then we
kept
telling. I think we told both of you, or just one of you, to watch Man from U.N.C.L.E. I can't remember.
Yeah, I liked Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Okay, so
I didn't love it, but I liked it.
Oh, yeah. With Armie Hammer and Henry Cavill
and
Alicia Vikander.
There you go.
Oh, she's in it too. Okay. Well, I'll have to
and Elizabeth
sure,
Debicki, who's in Tenet, which we haven't seen.
So yeah, I think this is a great film. I think it still holds up.
Give it 4.5 stars. I'm saying you think it's good. Ben, go.
Yeah.
Now, when you saw this movie for the first time, Ben, where were you seated?
Probably on my couch. But I wasn't. But I didn't have my legs. I didn't have my feet reclined, so it wasn't like prime viewing experience. Yeah. Like, but I may have had like a footstool at the bottom, like that might, it was close. It was close. Suboptimal, but I'll take it.
Now, was this with your buddies, or was it just something you decided to watch?
It was something a friend of mine who was at college during the time was like.
Hold on, guys! Since you're making fun of me, let me check the tattoo on my ankle to see where I was.
But and it was one of those I was impressed. My friend was like, "Don't look it up. You're not gonna. You don't want to know what's going on going in." Which, not a good way to go, because I was like, what the fuck is this movie? And then, halfway through was when I realized, oh, it's backwards. I took a while to get that, which is disappointing. But it was 10 years ago, something like that. Around there. But I just, I was impressed with it. I think the acting's great. I think the story is great. Ironically, the problem with it is, I can't remember most of it.
Oh, yeah, same.
I'll watch it, and
ironically or fittingly.
Yeah, I guess. And it was because I remember talking. It's like with another friend after I saw it. I was like, oh man, this was so good. I mean, I loved how it shit.
I love how it shit.
Well, it's like, and I couldn't like it's. And I thought maybe I wasn't paying attention enough. Maybe I need to see it again, and I never did until this recent watch. Although let me be clear, I gave it like 4 stars. Or I didn't have Letterboxd, but that would be my rating would have been like 4 stars, you know. And this time around, I saw it last Sunday, and I already have forgotten most of it, which is like fuck. But what I do remember is it is a great fucking movie with really good acting and a lot of just like an interesting story. I feel like detectives, like detective mysteries where it's like someone's trying to figure that kind of stuff out, I feel like they usually don't work for me unless they have some kind of interesting like gimmick to them or trait. And I mean, this is kind of the granddaddy of that, you know, like not granddaddy, but like the peak example of
like you watched Lucifer. How does that work for you?
I mean, he's the devil, so you know, like that's.
But it's the same thing every episode,
like, and that's a guilty pleasure for me,
yeah.
as opposed to like this is like when like my brother was like, "Have you been watching Lucifer?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "It's pretty good." I'm like, yeah, it is. But then we never talked about it again. But this is a movie it's weird. Like I would recommend it to people, but it's just like I wish maybe I should watch it chronologically in whatever version that is, Zach, because maybe I'd remember it more. I don't know. Like that's my 2 cents.
What's interesting is it's almost like it almost felt like a parody of puzzle box movies, but at the same time, like that clearly is what his intention was. Like the way Leonard talks about like figuring out the puzzles and da 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 da, it takes that side of things so seriously, and it mostly works, but then it doesn't kind of at the end. But I'm sure Lauren has thoughts on that.
Maybe. Like I watched it. I don't know how many decades ago now or how long ago it was, but I remember.
2.
Well, yeah, not more than 2. I enjoyed it then, and for once, when I watched the movie again 2 decades later, I still actually enjoyed it. It was a nice experience. But yeah, it's like I don't remember.
Is this the first one in a long time we've all really enjoyed?
Possibly, I don't know. I'd have to look.
Would you say it's been a while?
It's been a while. But yeah, it's funny. I don't remember if I was as confused the first time I watched it as this time so much as like I was to the point where it's like, wait. I felt very much like the character because a scene would start and I would just be like, wait, how did we get here? It's like, oh, that's so smart. I'm in the character's shoes. But like maybe it's like, was it intentional or am I just an idiot? Who's to say?
You're not an idiot.
Yeah, but
either way it works.
Yeah, there's definitely some things looking back on now where it's like I still have questions that I don't know make sense in the story and if they ever actually answered them or if they're plot holes. But it's like still overall, it's a really well-made movie, and I really enjoyed it. Simple as that.
I heard in the ending of Tenet, they like have a big scene that explains to you what's about to happen, and I haven't heard one person, granted, I haven't heard a lot, that has said they had any fucking clue what happens in the final act of that movie. No, I think this movie makes sense outside the Sammy Jankis stuff.
Yeah.
Which, if he's supposed to be Sammy, literally, how does he remember it? And it's always like an echo enough that you could argue he's not actually remembering it. Mm-hmm. But then Sammy Jankis is also real because he was a I think Teddy tells him he was real and he was a con man, but how come he doesn't remember that either?
But we also can't trust Teddy, so it's like, is what he's saying true? Who knows?
That's true. And then Yeah, I guess that's the reliable narrator part. Which the movie is having plenty of fun with that, and you can't trust Leonard either.
Yeah, because there's always user error too. Like he has all these tattoos, and still like you could interpret them any number of ways.
Yes. How did Natalie know?
First, can we mention, since we're talking about Sammy Jankis, Stephen Tobolowsky? I completely forgot he was in this movie until he showed up as Sammy Jankis, and I was like, Stephen Tobolowsky, what a gem.
He and Harriet Sansom Harris, who played his wife. She was great too.
She was really good.
I will say I did forget, like, part of what makes me forgetting all of this shit good is I forgot that twist that, like, Sammy Jankis might be him. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, oh, that's so cool. So that's a good thing. It's like, it's a movie I can come back to. It's not like I can come back to Sixth Sense and, like, be surprised. But, you know, this movie's structure got that for me. So, you know.
Yeah, I definitely didn't remember most of what was happening in this movie, so it was very much fresh eyes for me.
The only thing I really remembered was your favorite scene with Carrie-Anne Moss, where she just, like exactly.
I mean, she was great in this movie. I just thought they could have given her a little bit better dialogue in that scene.
Yeah, the use of the word retard was like not a trigger, but I was like, that's not.
You love Waterboy.
We've come a long way in 20 years.
Well, Waterboy is, like, I love Waterboy as, like, a guilty pleasure. It's, like, I'm not going to be like, it's a great movie with, like, endearing, like, well-written characters in a fantastic story. It's not good.
Neither are we.
Enjoy it. It's
Who's Bert Hadley?
Who knows?
What are you even talking about?
Is he, like, one of the Toronto Raptors? Or?
There's a character named Bert. He was the guy, he worked at the hotel.
Right. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Oh, yeah, for, like, he was in, like, 2 scenes.
He was in a few.
That was great, too, when he had the, when he accidentally took him to his old room.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty great. It's like, at least you're being honest with me.
It was so weird, though, because the way he looked at the room, I thought he was involved somehow with more than what he actually was. It's like, no, he still just works there. That's it.
But I don't know. You could argue because Teddy's sending him to that hotel. Teddy and him might be in cahoots at the same time.
That's true. They could be. Yeah, there were certain things. One thing you were about to ask. What were you going to ask? How did Carrie-Anne Moss know what? You never actually asked your question, Zach.
How did she know about John G? I guess she slept with him. So she saw
it's hard to keep track. The thing with her, I want to know is how did she know about the abandoned place to send him? Like, because at one point she mentions there's some abandoned place where you could kill Teddy. Well, she knew her boyfriend
was going to go there.
I guess.
Potentially.
There's some assumptions we have to make about this book. Or this movie.
That's okay.
Well, and we have to piece it together from what Leonard knows. And as we've seen, he doesn't know anything,
I think the through line of the story, the color scenes all make sense. Like, it's just the Sammy stuff that is...
Oh, you want to know something that doesn't make sense? Why would he take the drug dealer's car? Let's start with that.
Yeah, that last scene, I also played into the 4 stars, I think, a little bit. Like, it's super exposition dumpy. He's acting completely out of character after we've been told he's the same guy the whole time. You know, like, he just doesn't make new memories.
Well, I think it's the realization that he's been kind of fooled or tricked this entire time, and him saying, I'm gonna take advantage of my if we can call it that, a disability, to actually enact whatever agency I can, which is
stopping this guy who's manipulating me into killing other people.
And so because of that, there's like a throwing a caution to the winds of like, well, it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna, like, in order to do that, he has to really lean into, I'm gonna forget everything, and so it's not gonna matter.
Yeah, but it still didn't really feel like, for me, like it was his choice to, in the end, to like make it so that he would eventually kill Teddy. It always felt like it was Carrie-Anne Moss's character who wanted to get back at Teddy for me.
Carrie-Anne Moss's whole plot revolved around Leonard writing "Don't believe his lies." But I don't even know if she ever knew he didn't trust him. But then there's a lot of implication that Carrie-Anne Moss knew Teddy somehow.
Yeah, she might have had some hand in his...
Well, I think the implication was that Teddy was a corrupt cop who was working with Jimmy, and so she knew because of Jimmy and his dealings or whatever, and so, like, yeah, she always had it out for him because this guy probably always had it out for them.
Well, she knew he was the one who killed Jimmy, I guess, so... Yeah, I mean, like I said, the Sammy stuff is the only weird stuff I can roll with. Just about
but the best moment
holes.
From that, what the fuck? It's a test, Sammy. Test this, you fucking quack. Like,
my question with the Sammy stuff was when we're trying to figure out like how much was like if Sammy was ever a real person and it's just a blend of 2 people, or if it was just him completely and there was no Sammy. At one point, they said that his wife didn't die immediately. So it's like, so did he then kill her with insulin?
Yeah, I think you're supposed to imply that she did what.
Because there was a point where he wrote,
she didn't die after the attack. She died because of the
so then at what point do you get
later.
tattooed on your chest? Like, she was raped and murdered by, it's like, I don't know. It's just hard for me to put certain things together.
But the rape and murder thing did happen. Well, like...
It also doesn't help that they put this random shot in the movie of her laying on his chest when he has tattoos on it. So my mind is kind of like trying to fit that in when in actuality it's a made up thing. But I don't know.
Yeah, this is a huge,
I mean, like, you can forgive all that kind of stuff, though, right?
Yeah.
But,
I guess I think I read somewhere though when they show Sammy in the mental institution that
there is a quick
they cut
shot.
in a shot of him in it, and I didn't notice that. So
yeah,
I think I just need to go all in with their like, maybe there was a Sammy who pretended to be no, I think it just like
they swapped them in the chair. So it's when Sammy's sitting by himself.
Yeah, I missed it.
And then an orderly walks by, and right as he passes Sammy, it's Guy Pearce on the other end for like less than a
it was very I found it very Fight Club-esque, which I also thought was kind of fitting because there were so many themes and just the overall aura and feel. It wasn't as grimy and Finchery as Fight Club, but it still had like this kind of like this rough alternative like edge to it, sort of that it just reminded me of Fight Club.
Yeah, Brad Pitt was actually in the running to play.
I saw that. I thought that was very interesting.
I mean, I feel like they made him look almost like.
I mean, Guy Pearce is just like he just.
I feel like he's like, I know he's in stuff and he's like doing fairly okay, but like I feel like he should be a much more like highly sought after actor.
For me, when watching this movie, I was like, there are some scenes where I didn't like him in this at all, but for the most part, I enjoyed him.
No, I think I'm with Lauren. Like, he feels a little, but again, it could just be the character too. Like, he's like,
well, it's not just but I'm not just saying that like just for this movie. I'm saying like even in like Prometheus, he's in it like barely at all.
I was gonna say, off the top of my head, I can't name any other movies he's in.
Have I seen?
I mean, it's weird. He's been typecast as like the bad guy who shows in for a few minutes at some point.
Oh, you mean that garbage movie? Yeah, that's why I don't remember that.
L.A. Confidential.
L.A. Confidential was great.
Yeah, like, and then also
he's great in The Hurt Locker.
He's good in
Count of Monte Cristo.
I mean, the whole movie is like painfully dumb, but he actually is a lot of fun as the villain in Bloodshot as well. So
I forgot he was even in that movie.
I think the problem, like, he like, if Brad Pitt didn't exist, Guy Pearce would easily be like
no, he does not have the same charisma as Brad Pitt.
No, hold on. This is what I'm saying. If Brad Pitt didn't exist, Guy Pearce would be easily voted like one of Hollywood's like sexiest men, like consistently years on end. But the problem is they have from the like nose down, especially the jawline, they have
we're not all the same, John.
They have very similar features, but Brad just has way more pronounced and striking eyes, and guys are a little bit more muted, and so it's like they look so.
I like how it sounds like John's put a lot.
I actually have.
It's okay. He has a man crush. It's great.
I clearly do. No, so like I hate to say that, like, well, then he's like a poor man's or a poor woman's Brad Pitt, because he's still fucking Guy Pearce, and he's still an incredible actor and performer.
Wait, Brad Pitt is fucking Guy Pearce?
No.
Only in John's dreams.
I hate to. Never mind. I'm done with this point. Guy Pearce is awesome.
No one's saying you don't like Guy Pearce. He's usually pretty good if he's in a movie.
But he is underutilized.
He also pops in for like one scene in
that's
like
what I'm saying. Yeah,
3 or 4 movies. He's great in L.A. Confidential. His best movie.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that.
Did anybody see The Rover? By the way,
I keep meaning to.
You should watch The Rover.
I feel like there's a Guy Pearce movie that I'm like, forgetting.
Who's the guy who played the devil in Dr. Parnassus?
Tom Waits.
For some reason, I always connect like when I see them, they look too similar to me. So it's like in my mind, I kind of blend certain things.
I would say Tom Waits looks more like the guy who runs the hotel.
I'm not saying I have a good memory.
Yeah.
They could look nothing alike. Just for some reason, when I saw Guy Pearce in this, I was like, wait a minute.
There is a famous Ron Perlman. Tom Waits looks a lot like Ron Perlman, in my opinion.
Let's
Look up Ron Perlman and look up Tom Waits. They look.
I like how like all three of us came up with drastically
They
different
look
people.
almost
to look like.
identical. Tom Waits.
What are you talking about? That's like, you know what? Kurt Russell looks a lot like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That's
no,
not
they
at
don't.
all.
So about this movie,
They're both relatively fit white dudes. That doesn't mean
try.
they
No,
look
someone
alike.
refresh
back
my
me up on
memory.
this.
no.
No,
Actually,
we're done with it.
I think calling Schwarzenegger relatively fit is a little bit of an understatement. But
Lauren, you had something to say about
what
this
happened
movie?
to Dodd? I don't
Yeah,
remember where his story
I guess he
ends.
ran him out of town.
Okay, because
He
I just
actually
remember
left, I
them.
guess.
They had a gun to his back and walked him out of the hotel, and then I don't remember what happened to him.
who?
Dodd,
I think
the guy who was in the closet, all bloodied,
Oh, yeah,
who was in the
that
chase
guy.
sequence at one point.
That's one of the
then
best
they just
lines
they let him
in a
go,
movie
and then that's
ever,
it.
by the way.
What line?
When he's like, "Oh, I'm chasing this guy."
Oh yeah, that's a good
Nope,
one.
he's chasing me.
He's chasing me. Yeah, that was yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. I also can't remember to forget you. It was super sad.
Yeah, I think you all chimed in, or Ben and John especially, the performances. I think they're all quite those can't be argued with either. The core three are all fantastic, I think. And if this was an interesting post-Matrix reunion for Pantoliano and Carrie-Anne Moss.
I think she said that she recommended Joe because of The Matrix.
Yeah, she did.
Joe Pantoliano is underrated. I mean, he's been working forever, and has a couple big movies and stuff, but he's always good stuff, that guy. He's appropriately sleazy and conniving as Teddy in this movie, and he's only got kind of one track in this movie, but Carrie-Anne Moss gets to show 8 shades of Natalie, and I think she's really great too. Okay,
Agreed.
so we all agree this movie holds up. Maybe not as high as we used to, maybe a little lower, maybe about the same.
Real quickly, intellectually speaking, too, it brings up some amazing themes about existence and reality and memory and how that incorporates into human experience too. So I remember this film for being one of not just enjoyable for its noir-esqueness and the mystery aspect of it, but the themes that the very deep and profound themes that it pulled out as well.
Question. When were the black and white scenes of him on the phone? When do those take place in context with the rest of the story? Before.
Yeah, they switch from black and white to color for the
Oh,
last
that's right,
sequence.
because that's when he finds out the drug dealer angle.
Yeah, because you see him leave the apartment in those clothes with the truck and Teddy, and then it switches to color at
right.
some point in the
Speaking of clothes, what era was Jimmy from? He was out of the 70s when he showed up in the end. It was so weird.
Also, that suit would never fit Guy Pearce. That guy was huge.
They clearly did a costume change.
Well, yeah, and then Guy Pearce put a Carrie-Anne Moss character shirt on at one point, and I was like, I don't know if that could have happened either. Yeah, I think my only other complaint, if we're wrapping up, was just I had so much problems with the designs of his tattoos. Because first of all, it's he talks about how you come to trust your own handwriting, and that's one of the only things you can trust. And then all the tattoos on his body are different fonts.
It's completely different font.
Yeah, and he's he has a to-do list on his wrist, and then there's 2 things, and then it's the facts, he has those on his arm, but they're written so big and so spaced out that the facts go all over his body, though, even though there's only 5 of them. It's you need to consolidate, dude. You only have so much canvas to work with. What is going on with these tattoos? And some are written backwards, some aren't, and they're all just weirdly placed.
He gets 3 done over the course of this movie, it feels like, and it's I guess they say it's only been a year or so since the accident.
I was also confused because Joe Pantoliano's character made it seem like he had done this so many times with with Leonard, they'd killed so many people, but I guess there's only 3 murders in this. The wife gets murdered, he kills Jimmy, and then Lenny dies at the end. Or Teddy, not Lenny.
Yeah.
So I guess,
there's
made
the
it seem like
picture.
they'd killed like so many people over the years, but I guess it was only just actually like a year or something.
Yeah, they got revenge. Well, they got revenge on. Oh, you already said that the wife's murderer. Never mind. Okay.
Oh wait, no, I guess that would have been the fourth one. I didn't mention that one actually.
But we
They
don't
did
know
kill
if they
him.
even got revenge.
No,
I mean, they said he did.
yeah.
We have to trust him, I guess.
I don't know. I don't know. Not sure we can trust anything Teddy says.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is true.
But you would also think everybody would know about the guy who can't remember things running around town murdering drug people would stand out a little bit more.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be a little. Yeah.
Like everyone in this town has been told the story of Sammy at this point.
They might just start calling him Sammy, because that's.
Yeah. Oh, that was it. Like, I mean, I can't go into details as to why it reminds me of, but the whole time I was watching this, I kept thinking about how I really need to watch Shutter Island again.
No, okay, so I was actually I'm with you on that, Lauren, because I think the ending, especially again.
I still haven't.
I was going to
seen
say,
that,
that's why I'm not going into it, because Ben hasn't seen it.
Much appreciated.
There's a thematic piece to the ending that I think Nolan makes you think in this one, whereas Scorsese makes you feel more in his film. That's what I'll say, Ben.
Yeah.
Okay.
I still don't even know if I actually saw the ending of Shutter Island, because we were at the theater and this, like, it went out. So it's like, I don't know if I've seen the last 5 minutes of that movie, which is very important to that story. It's like, I read it, but I don't know if I've seen it.
You're connecting the wrong Christopher Nolan movie, FYI. The same one. Same year. Both those movies came out. Same actor. Similar themes. Inception and Shutter Island. A double feature. Find it now on middleoftheroad.com. Written by me.
Oh, I haven't seen Inception since theaters either, so.
Inception's one of those, though, that I think it's interesting that since this film, and maybe Insomnia has this, so you guys can speak more to that, like, Christopher Nolan has incorporated more action elements into his films, and I think Inception was one of the epitomes of that, I guess, which makes it so memorable.
I was just reading my notes, and one of the random things I wrote down was just, I don't understand people who stand in the water as they turn on the shower instead of waiting for it to warm up. These are the things I take note of when I'm watching movies, guys. The end.
That's going to do it for Memento. Maybe we'll get to see Tenet sometime soon. I'll probably scooch my way up to Sacramento one of these weekends and see it at the... I should have gone last week when it was fucking hot as hell down here.
Did anyone look and see what its box office numbers were?
It made $20 million US, 150 internationally. So it's making money, and hopefully it's making enough money that they will put it on VOD faster. That they don't need to like try to stretch the theater experience out. So next week we are doing our last flashback pick of the year.
Oh no!
And it is also my pick again, which is the 2010 documentary, maybe scare quotes, Exit Through the Gift Shop. The film was directed by Banksy, this street artist. It is a really great movie. Has anybody seen this movie?
Have you guys been seeing the conspiracy theory going around Twitter that Banksy is actually the host of Art Attack? I don't even know what Art Attack is. It's like some kids like art chill like program from Canada, but they're trying to say the host of that is Banksy.
I think Guy Ritchie has been floated as the Banksy, as a potential person who's Banksy. Yeah, but yeah, Exit Through the Gift Shop. It's kind of like it's a lot of things, but it's really good. It's really entertaining. It's funny. I kind of don't want to spoil it. It's kind of a twist, but I think it'll be lots for us to discuss. And I haven't seen it in a while. I'm looking forward to revisiting it. So
been a while.
Go watch Exit Through the Gift Shop. Wrap up our flashbacks, our initial run of flashbacks for the year. It'll also be our 150th episode. Look at that.
Woo! Yeah.
Hey, we made it 150 and I haven't killed John yet.
I was just going to say, I'm surprised we've all survived 150 episodes. How many additional bonus episodes and Snowman episodes and...
Well, the 100.
I have Snowman 2, I think. I don't know about the
technically,
rest.
it's 150 includes the Snowman episodes.
Oh, it
I
does?
think. Yeah, I didn't.
So then we're not even at 150.
Well, we are. I mean, we're well over 150 on the feed for sure.
What were all the Snowmans? Snowman, The Silence.
I thought there were... Oh, it's Solo.
I wasn't
Star
here
Wars
for
story.
that one, though, so...
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I don't feel as bad about that one.
It's a good movie.
Why was it also your fault?
You guys are saying... You're surprised I haven't died yet. Zach here with his opinions. Solo was a good movie. Lol.
Yeah, but we expect it from Zach at this point.
This is like the definition of white privilege. Zach can get away with his terrible opinions, and I can't. Oppression.
No,
I can't.
Who
I
said
can't
the
wait
reason
for
you're
the
dying
day-
is because of your opinions?
I can't wait for the day when, like, the three of us realize that a movie's going to be shit long before it's out, and Zach's like, it's going to be great. And then we finally come back, and even Zach is like, you guys were right. It was a shit movie. I feel like...
When did this...
That would bring me so much
when
joy.
has this happened that I liked the shit movie everybody else thought was shit?
I feel like it's
How much
happened.
time do you
Mother.
have? Yeah, that was my first one. I know John kind of liked it.
I had expectations for Mother because it was a Darren Aronofsky movie, but I literally had no
Yeah.
idea what that movie was going to be.
You were telling me it was going to be the shit, and instead it was
was.
just shit.
One of the top 10 movies of 2010s.
Ugh.
Just gonna swallow my.
I love that thing you
shared.
shared about... Oh my god, what's his name? Something Boon-Ho.
Oh, Bong Joon-ho, yeah.
Joon-ho.
His favorite movies, yeah.
Yeah.
That was good.
Oh, and it was like the different.
Different
like
versions
different
of all the
hosts.
things.
different
Host, Parasite,
Yeah, that was great.
Mother. What was the other one?
Memories of a Murder.
Yeah.
Yeah, his Mother and Memories of a Murder, I actually think I probably like as much or more than Parasite.
I haven't seen those, but I really enjoyed The Host.
The Host is so good. Parasite is
Not to
incredible.
not to be confused with Stephanie Meyer's adapted film The Host with
That movie
Saoirse
was so
Ronan.
bad. That was
It
one of the
was
worst
so
movies I've ever
bad.
seen in a theater, I think.
Or to be confused with Host, streaming on Shudder.
Yes.
Hey Zach, what do you think of the other Stephanie Meyer movies though?
C, F, B, C minus, B plus.
Which one gets the F?
The second
Okay.
one,
New Moon.
was a piece of shit.
They're all not great. Although I feel like going back, didn't we discover that I actually gave some of them higher ratings than I
Probably.
expected at this?
Until next time.
Yeah.
I'm Zach Oldenburg. You can find me wherever you can find at Zach Oldenburg. You can find us at middleofrow.com. And you should rate and review the podcast. Apparently it helps things.
I'm Ben Grigsby. You can find me on. And I'm just trying to go slow to run out John's clock. Letterboxd.
I'm laughing at Zach actually losing it. Now that we've clarified that, Ben, you're an asshole. You're a piece of shit and a trash human being.
Oh shit, I forgot where I was. I better start over. I'm Ben Grigsby. You can find me on Twitter and Letterboxd at the... He left! At the Grigsby Bear, and you can find all of us on Facebook at Middle of the Row.
I'm Jonathan Rahul. Ben's a piece of shit. Follow us on Twitter. Another Rahul J. At Middle of Row.
John, they're up 4. They're going to win.
I see it.
And I'm Lauren Heimbot. You can find me at 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney. No, you can find me on Twitter at Beware of Trees, and you can find us on Tumblr at middleofrow.tumblr.com.
Thanks for listening. Go watch Exit Through the Gift Shop. And remember, the best seats are in the middle of the row.